Hey, I'm Connor Pendergrast from customersuccess.cx, and welcome to episode 7 of Support Stack. So, Tobi Davis from Pupil Progress, welcome back. I'm excited to talk to you today because we're talking about using a little data point, using some information about a customer who is maybe not in the best situation, or maybe just people want to keep an eye on, and making sure that they get a great support experience. So what was the genesis of all this? What did you start with?
That's right. Yeah. And it's sort of, it's really interesting, right? And I've been with Pupil Progress since it was really small business, right? Sort of 4 or 5 of us all back to back in the same room. And the good thing about that is that everybody knows everything all the time. So if there's a particular deal that the CEO is, really keen on coming through, or there's a school that, is a bit of a risk for the renewal, and, one of our CSMs will really want to make sure they're getting all of the attention that they need. It was nice and easy because you could kind of just tap someone on the shoulder or turn around and find out immediately, right? And since we've grown to, be a more rounded business with different people doing different jobs in different teams, it's a challenge, right? To keep that kind of level of transparency, or at least to keep a level of transparency that means everybody's confident that the I's are getting dotted and the T's are getting crossed sort of where they need to be. So really what this was born from was a way to just give some extra confidence to our sales team and our customer success team that, when there is real kind of special attention needed for a particular customer, for a particular deal, that they are able to really easily relay that information across to the support team, and we can kind of treat that accordingly.
Yeah. And so what does that look like? Are the CSMs, the customer success managers, or the sales team, are they coming? Are they sitting you down and saying, Tobi, every time this customer comes in, I want you to treat them with white gloves, and it's every day you're sitting down and looking through the inbox and being like, click, click, click. It's a super manual process, is it?
Yes, it's funny you say that. I detected a hint of sarcasm in your question there.
Just a little bit.
But funnily enough, that's kind of how it used to be in a way, right? It's I used to do all of the support conversations. If someone was saying, "Oh, what's this what's anybody from this school saying?" I would know because I would have had all of those conversations. And then it's a challenge because we got a little bit down the line. We grew our support team from just me to 6 of us altogether. And sometimes our customer success manager, our sales team will work in the same way, and they'll be like, "Oh, what's going on with this school?" And I'll be like, "I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea, right? Like, I haven't spoken to anyone from there, or maybe I have and it's good, or maybe I have and it's bad, but it's never going to be the full picture." So, really what we needed to do was have a way to categorize that on our system and make sure that information is, of course, easy to find after the fact if we're looking to review, or we're looking to sort of, prepare for, say, meeting with a lead contact or whatnot, but also in the moment. And some of this actually kind of harks back to what we spoke about in the last episode, which is giving the support team or our agents as much information as we possibly can for them to be able to do their job the right way, right? And so last time we spoke about, they were able to sort of manually tag these users and send them sort of resources following a conversation. But what we set up to address this problem was kind of, having that in the inbox at the time. So if our CSM is saying, this is a super crucial deal, we don't think they're going to renew, there's a few contacts there who are really resisting, we need to make sure that everything for the next week, for the next 2 weeks, up until this meeting that we're having is as polished as it can be.
Smooth.
exactly. It's really helpful for, rather than having that conversation after the fact and the customer success manager saying how, what's it been like with this school, but instead, as a support agent, if I'm on the queue, I can just see that as that comes in, and I'm like, okay, this one is one that I need to go sort of above and beyond for. Yeah. And yeah, so that's sort of the basis for our solution.
Great. So you mentioned, we were talking about this beforehand. So you use the CRM, the sales team and the CSMs, your customer success managers, they use HubSpot as your CRM. Right. And you've got that set up to push a piece of data from HubSpot into Intercom. Is that correct?
Yes, that is. So I'll just pop my screen up here.
Okay. So we're looking at a workflow here.
We're looking at a workflow, super straightforward workflow.
Yep, about as simple as you get.
About as simple as it can get, exactly. So all it's doing is saying when a customer sends any message, mark it as priority. Obviously, if we go into the audience rules here, you'll see this from a support priority school is either prioritized or critical. So that is a property that exists on HubSpot, just called support priorities, I think, or something like that. The deal owner can either set that as prioritized or critical depending on the need. And what that will do is that will copy that value from the deal to the contact and the company, and then obviously that will also sync through to Intercom. So what we can do is very clearly see which of our users are coming from our priority schools, because if it's marked in HubSpot, it will come through on Intercom. And if, that deal renews or purchases or churns, or for whatever reason they're not a priority anymore, it's all in sync. So that property would be updated on HubSpot. This marker on the Intercom contact would be removed, and then they would just follow the sort of standard support procedure.
Excellent. And so from a support agent perspective, it doesn't require any of that mental overhead to think, oh, I recognize this school name. Toby mentioned it on Monday in our meeting.
Yes.
So you don't have any of that remembering to do. The support agent, your teammates are just getting a conversation. It's prioritized, so it's getting to the top of the queue relative to anything else. And then they're able to prioritize it that way. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's absolutely right. So it just comes through into our inbox here. We really love
a lot of views.
Filters. Well, a lot of views. We really get a lot of use out of them. But you can see we have this one come through here, which is priority schools, right? And so we can see, okay, this is what we've got in there at the moment. Priority schools. Okay, well, there's one in here. It looks like this is a conversation that's sort of been going on a while, but and this is,
viewers won't be able to see the email itself because we've blanked all that out.
Yes, absolutely. But this is one that I can see it's already with one of my colleagues here, and if it's sort of what she'll be doing is, say she's on the queue after lunch or whatever it might be, and she's sort of looking through her conversations. First thing she's going to do is check any that have the star against them. Is there any immediate action that's needed? Am I waiting for somebody to do something? Is there sort of some element to this that needs that degree of sort of extra attention?
Yeah.
And it means that she's able to be a lot more confident with it, in terms of if somebody's asking me or whoever it is, okay, these teachers from these schools are, have there been any problems recently? I've got a meeting with the head teacher, so I need to know beforehand if that's something. And we're able to answer those questions really clearly, get the information together really quickly, and just sort of run like a more well-oiled machine, I suppose, in the way
very smooth operation.
Exactly, in the way that we sort of used to be able to when the team was much smaller.
And crucially as well, without having to have each individual teammate add an extra step to when they're deciding and where they're deciding to put their focus.
Yeah.
Like one of the things we'll talk about in a later episode is how how much work Finn is doing, which is great, and it's taking a lot of the work away. But you still, all your teammates, all your team is still handling the most complicated cases. That's how it works out, and will have to make decisions about how to prioritize their time. And by having this automation set up, you're making it a lot easier for them to say, like, okay, I know what the priorities are. There are start conversations; those are priority conversations. Those rise naturally to the top of a priority list without having to make that mental leap of, I recognize the school name and therefore I should treat them really well.
Yeah, absolutely that.
Yeah. Very cool. Tobi, this is really helpful, and hopefully another way of Intercom customers working out the most efficient ways of answering and bringing great customer support experiences. If anyone has any questions or wants to find out more about you and Pupil Progress, where should they go?
Yes, on LinkedIn, do feel free to send me a message, send me a connection request on LinkedIn if there's any specific questions or anything that you think I can help with. But otherwise, yeah, take a look at Pupil Progress, check us out on LinkedIn, check us out on our website, and you can learn everything you need to know there.
Super. And you can subscribe to this show, Support Stack, on YouTube, or you can sign up to my daily email list at customersuccess.cx/daily, where I will give you a week daily email all about Intercom and customer support leadership. And other than that, see you next week. Bye.